Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Before I even begin about my time in Argentina, I want to make sure that you subscribe. So don't forget to hit that button down below. Stay up to date about all my videos. Make sure you hit it before I even start. I'll wait.
How did I get here? How did I get here?
Hope you subscribed. Now, time to continue my solo experience through South America. Now we're in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I thought it would be something special to land on Christmas Day. I just thought Buenos Aires had such a magical feel to it. It wasn't really anything extra special. Of course, how do I get the most inexpensive way from the airport to my hostel? I found this bus company called Tienda Leon. It actually was not very expensive. It was like a coach bus, and then it also included a cab ride to your hostel. Of course, so where did I stay? I stayed at the Milhouse hostel, which actually has two hostels in Buenos Aires. One is called Milhouse Avenue, and one is called Hippo. They were very similar, and I thought based off of the pictures, the Milhouse Avenue looked a little nicer, and I was correct. The lobby was pretty nice, a bar downstairs. It had a rooftop that had a bar up there as well. They had a little basement chill area, elevator, and a nice colorful staircase. The other hostel, which I went to because they had events with each other, so the lobby was So I checked in. It was interesting because then they handed me a package of sheets and a pillowcase. Now, maybe I'm spoiled, but all of the hostels I've stayed at, I've never had to make up my own bed. And I was on a top bunk. Some things you just gotta deal with. But the rooms actually weren't too bad. Per usual, I picked an 8-person mixed room. It did have a private bathroom, but the private bathroom was like separate from the room. But the room had like 2 little terraces, which I thought were really cute. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I was still feeling a little sick from Chile. Part of me really just wanted to stay in the bed. So I mustered up all the energy that I could and took my ass outside. The guy actually below me, I believe he had Tourette's. I've never personally witnessed anyone that had Tourette's. First, I didn't know what was going on. It seemed like he was there for a while. He had birthday cards. I was being a little nosy, and he had the birthday card out. I kind of saw what one of them said, and I think it was from like his mom, but he seemed a lot older. So I kind of wish I'd like spoke to him a little more, maybe where he was from and how he ended up in Argentina. So I go up to the rooftop because it's the happy hour, and I notice this guy, and he's in like the skimpiest little bikini. I swear his peen was sticking out. What is going on here? So, you know, I started talking to people per usual. Find out that he's there with a group of his friends, and they all had a bet. They all had to like dress each other in like outrageous outfits. The other hostel was having a party night, and it started raining. So we decided to run to the other hostels. These are his friends all dressed up. All right, so my first day fully exploring. So the area I was staying in, it was near, I guess, their historical area. It was a good middle place to be. So I walked to their version of the White House, which is really a pink house. They call it Casa Rosada. So I looked up like why it's pink. One story that I read said there were 2 opposing parties. One was white and one was red. So they thought maybe to release the political tension, they painted it pink. The other story is that it's painted with cow's blood to protect it from the humidity. And then it was so hot in Argentina though, like, ooh, child. I felt the urge to try empanadas again because I just have a weird thing with empanadas. Looked at this place called Ricon. I don't know. Again, maybe it's just the seasoning we use. We just have so many options of empanadas here that sometimes they just can't compare. It could just be our water, you know? So I also scheduled a bike tour because I think riding bikes is so much fun. Argentina is split into 2 parts. There's the north part and the south part. For some reason, they consider the south part to be a little sketchy. So they recommend not having backpacks or certain things. You know, I always get excited when people tell me something is dangerous. The lady at reception definitely told me, be careful of going to this area. And one of the areas areas was La Boca, which I'm going to talk about because of course I went there. But she was just like, if you go there, just go and come right back. Don't explore this other part. I decided to book the bike tour to view the north part, just because like I've heard about like the Bohemian Soho area and like that's a cool place to party and stuff. One of the places on the bike tour that we rode to was Palermo. Has anybody watched Money Heist Part 3 and 4? There's Palermo. Yeah. Supposed to be like the bougie, like, you know, nice area. There was this metal flower that is called the Flora. Yeah, you know, I'm bad with my pronunciations. It opened in 2002 and it's supposed to open in the daytime and then close as the sun goes down. It's a synthesis of a flower, but it's also supposed to represent being reborn. Each day is a new day in Argentina. We did learn something because across the street from that flower is a law school. The guy told us that the education in Argentina is free. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people wish education in America was free. We also went to this cemetery. Now, I know some people are gonna be like, ooh, cemetery, but I thought the cemetery was like amazing. It's a cemetery for basically the wealthiest families in Argentina, but it looks like a freaking maze. Literally every row and all that stuff. And I guess I saw the beauty in the setup of the cemetery. So each mausoleum and tomb has kind of like a backstory of the family. Some were well kept, some were kind of like broken into, dusty, but there's one story I'm going to share. It's sad, but it's interesting. This young woman who was born into a wealthy family, generational wealth, if you will, very well known socialite, i.e. Mixie. And one day she was going to attend a show. All of a sudden, she just collapsed and did not wake up. Doctors rushed in and they just pronounced her dead immediately of a heart attack. Had the funeral, same day, buried her in a mausoleum, done and done. A few days after the funeral, a cemetery worker happened to notice that things had shifted with the mausoleum. And when he decided to check further, he noticed that Rufina tried to get out. Her hands and face were bruised from trying to actually break free out of her own coffin. So now they changed the front of her mausoleum to a statue of her walking out because clearly she wasn't fully dead. Imagine being buried alive. Oh. And there's so many other stories like that. A guy and his mistress, the wife buried them next to each other. There's just drama in that cemetery, honey, okay? But I think the architecture though is beautiful. But that night I had a Airbnb experience scheduled and it was for a tango experience. Now the hostel was offering a tango experience, but it was going to see this extravaganza, whereas the one I found on Airbnb taught you how to dance tango and then took you to a milonga. You know, I love doing some local authentic shit. Learning how to dance tango actually does help a lot with relationships. For all you couples or wannabe couples out there that might need a little connection or understanding or trying to help one lead and being able to follow, a tango class might work for you. The woman, or who at least the person that is following, is supposed to fully give in to her partner. Eyes closed, feeling each other's breathing, just go and let them move you whichever direction they want to move you. So we had the class, we were set to go to a milonga. However, the milongas, he said, started a lot later in the evening. So to kill time, we went and had some wine. While we were doing that, the teacher decided to educate us on the history of tango. Now, I'm not gonna go into all of the real specific things because honestly, I was drinking a lot of wine, so I don't fully remember. But the one thing I do remember, this is to all my Black people, don't ever forget that our culture, our history is everyone's history. As much as they want to forget, Black people in South America, especially when the slaves that were coming from Peru, Brazil, were drumming. So once they started actually transcribing music, the drumming and everything that they had in South America and sending it over to Europe, they kind of like, if I remember correctly, kind of combined it, but it all started with the drumming, baby. And I feel like Argentina is one of the whitest countries in South America. So to hear that something that is so specific to Argentina came from African drumming. I really enjoyed learning about that history. I mean, I'm a proud Black woman, but it just made me even more like, yes, honey, like everybody needs to know the history. And then he also was breaking down, like when we go to the Milonga, how the songs are played. Their songs are short, and they'll play like 3 or 4 songs back to back. Then they have a break, and they'll play like some random song, like fucking Bruno Mars. And whoever you start dancing with, you have to finish the set with. You can't just like leave that person in the middle. Another thing, when you want to dance with somebody, you have to look at them and blink. And if the person blinks back, they want to dance with you. If the person looks away, they don't. Now, my ass was waiting for a lot of people to blink at me. However, I didn't know if they really was like looking at me to dance with me or just looking at me because I was the only Black person there. When I tell you, it just reminded me of like a movie. The tables were around the dance floor. They had their outfits, and some of those outfits, yes, honey. But once it got started, granted, you would think like, okay, you see people spinning in a circle for hours. That shit was just entertaining.
Lui lo fa molto di movimento.
Now that was advanced. Can't do the footwork, but I did dance. The teacher made me dance with him because again, I couldn't pick up the whole blinking thing, and I just felt like nobody really wanted to dance with me. Nate was dancing till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Like, you would have thought we was at the club.
It is 4 o'clock in the morning. I just finished dancing tango, and I'm walking back to my hostel. Just making sure nobody's following me. Making sure I ain't gotta run.
That was really a great, authentic experience. I would recommend anyone to do it. Try some different shit. You know what I mean? The next day, I walked to this boardwalk area. Then they had like this huge ass park. When I tell you, it was hot as fuck. So I thought about renting a bike because then at least I can move around faster. So they do have the city bike option, but their city bike option is free. Sounds cool in theory until you realize that all the bikes are fucked up. I finally downloaded the app, I finally found a bike, and I started riding it, and the tires were flat. You gotta be fucking kidding me. It's already hot, and now I gotta really push to move this bicycle. And I rode to an area to return the bike to try to get another one, but then like the app was fucking up. It was just ridiculous. So maybe, you know, that's one of the cons of it being free, is that they don't really manage and upkeep it properly. I kept having to walk to find a bike, and I probably ended up in an area I shouldn't have been in, because even when I tried to buy some water, the guy was like, watch out for your phone. I ended up finding this market, Mercado San Telmo. Had food stands, clothes, jewelry, records. My plan was to ride to La Boca, which was famous because it's just like really colorful, but then it's also a big tourist thing. But I wanted to definitely get a bike because, one, it was a little bit further away, and then, you know, when they said the whole thing, like, don't walk around outside past, you know, whatever, because it's still a barrio. Like how Brazil has their favelas, Argentina has their barrios. So you have the ones that are nicer and the ones that are a little sketchy. So I finally found a bike that made my day a lot easier and just kind of explored that area. And it was very touristy. La Boca is also well known for its football team or football club. So they have like a stadium there. There's like this building there called El Caminito. It's basically just like a street museum, and that's like the main alley that people usually walk on. So then I was like, all right, I think I'm done here. Now I gotta get a bike back to my hostel. Were there any bikes available? No. All right, let me look at this app, trying to figure out where to walk to. Of course, It's telling me to walk in the area that they told me not to walk in, but I figured people think I'm Brazilian anyway. So as long as I walk like I know where I'm going, then maybe they won't fuck with me. I was really in some regular ass neighborhood. Literally every time I would walk up to the station, somebody would ride off with the fucking bike. Now, once you start walking back and forth, now I really look like I'm lost. So eventually I gave up. I decided to get in a cab. The cab ride was interesting. First, I thought he was trying to be nice. He told me I was beautiful and then had the nerve to ask for a kiss. That's what we're not gonna do. Would you have done that to any woman? Or is it because are you excited that you have a black woman in your cab? I gave him cash. To find out, he gave me back counterfeit money. I was tight because I tried to buy something else. After that, I really had to be mindful of every time I got cash back, what it feels like, what it looks like. That night, my hostel was hosting like the game night, party night. A lot of nice people that night. No one believed I was 30. The next day, I needed to exchange more money. I use an app to see the actual exchange rate of money, so then I see how much I'm really losing out on. Exchange rate actually was very good in Argentina. I didn't really plan OD stuff to do in Argentina. I went to chill on the rooftop again. These two guys from like Switzerland, they were kind of cute. Get a little swirl on. We decided to go to the party that night, which was at the other hostel. And they sell tickets to go to this club called Bayside. And it really reminded me of a little baby Ibiza. It was half inside, half outside. And literally they would party until the sun came up. The guy I met from Switzerland, he became my little buddy. I think he had a little crush on me because then he like tried to make out with me. Whoa, buddy. And then we were staying at the same hostel, so I think he wanted to try to like, but he was cute though. Got in probably like 6, 7 a.m. packed, and then had to take my ass to the airport because then I was going to Brazil. Random thing, on the airplane, you know how they give you snacks? Who gives ham flavored cereal? That don't make no damn sense. Y'all that hungry for some meat? I flew from Buenos Aires to Rio de Janeiro. And I was so excited to see my people, because me walking down the street in Argentina, I don't know if people were in disgust or just curiosity, but I did get a good amount of stares in Argentina for sure. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come on back, tune in for my next video, which will be about my time in Rio. See you then. My shirt says rooting for everybody black, because I am.